Have you ever noticed how easy it is to be there for someone when they are the one going through adversity? Have you realized how easy it is to support them and give them that advice? But when it comes to yourself, it's like we're looking for it externally. No, you need to first give that love to yourself, show that support to yourself. Hello, I'm Royal Riney and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another video. If you've not subscribed yet, then what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and get to know me. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to overcome adversity. Something that I know we all know too much about, right? So, you know what I mean when I say adversity, right? Any kind of misfortune that we all go through in our life, having an amputation, going bankrupt, losing a loved one, losing a home, losing your job, you know what I mean? These are all things that happen to each and every one of us, and it's good to know, how others went through something like that. So therefore, we'll know how we too can also, overcome that obstacle. The first thing I do when I have to overcome adversity is put things into perspective. I don't try to go into denial and pretend like, this is not happening or whatever. I just kind of lay everything out on the table and I'm like, okay, you know what? This situation sucks right now. And, it sucks right now. And I just, get myself to understand that, hey, I'm in a bad situation or this unpleasant thing is happening. So, that's the first thing I do. I let myself understand that, hey, the situation does suck and I, understand that. The next thing I do to overcome adversity is learning to love myself, right? That was the number one thing. The way you would show love to your best friend or a partner, give that love to yourself. Think about it like this. Imagine one of your friends went through, an amputation or lost a loved one or bankrupt, anything like that. What would you say to that friend? How would you comfort them? It's the same way we need to portray that love onto ourselves, Give ourselves the best advice and take it. Give ourselves the same comfort that we would give to, a friend or a next thing I did to overcome adversity is to show up for myself. I started to show up for myself. I worked through the pain. If something needed to be done, I would do it. If I needed to take a class, I would take the class. If I needed to work out, I would work out, right? My adversity, having an amputation, I did the things that I needed to make sure that I would be in the best shape of my life. I would be in the best position to get through this pain and help myself, right? I showed up for me. So in doing that, I started to feel better, feel better about my self-image. So instead of looking at myself in a negative way, oh, maybe she has an amputation, I took pride in carrying myself. So now my whole appearance is giving, oh, love, she loves herself. And automatically everyone else starts to love you too. You get what I'm saying? So, and also I model with my prosthetic, I'm an amputee model. So that's another way I turn my, negativity into a positive, right? I'm sharing my story with you guys. That's a positive, So just find a way to change your negative into a positive. So another thing I did to overcome adversity was to turn my negative into a positive. Cha-ching! Guys, game changer, right? As a result of loving myself and showing up for myself, I took better care of me. I took pride in my appearance. I took pride in my self-image, my body type. I didn't want to be walking with an amputation and like I'm overweight. It's not going to be easy for me. It's going to make it more challenging and further lead into depression of, falling into adversity. So I took care of my body by working out, and I put myself together in a way where I'm presentable. You know, there's a research that people treat you better when you look better, even in school. Children who look better and go to school are treated better by their teachers and their peers. So what about someone who is an amputee or someone that, you know, is going through bankrupt? I know that, you know, dressing well may not bring back your money, but you're going to overall feel better, and then you're going to, you know, take the steps, show up for you to get the money back. Or I listen to so much motivational tapes, you know, and I even forget how I got introduced to listening to motivational speakers like Les Brown or Eric Thomas. You know, these guys have really went through some adversity. Les Brown was born on an abandoned building on a floor, right? He was labeled mentally educable, retarded, right? Eric Thomas was eating out of trash can, and he says it all the time. He says it all the time. I had no business eating out of trash cans. But when you don't care for self, when you don't show up for self, you can fall into that negativity. You can fall into that adversity, you know, and a lack of love, a lack of self-love, a lack of not showing up for yourself will lead you into depression, you know, can lead you into so much negative aspects. So it's important that we listen to these people because they went through this and, you know, came out on the other side. So that was a big thing for me, listening to such people that have went through adversity and overcame, you know. It's very important because they're not just average, they're successful people. So I want to know how they did it so I can do it too. Another important tip to overcome adversity is to go out and find like-minded people. There is so many people going through similar situations as ourselves. When I started to meet amputees, I was like, there's so many amputees in the world. And it's not a good feeling to be stuck in, you know, the position of thinking you're the only one going through something, you know. You're not the only one going through it. Many more people are going through similar or harder situations than us, than we are. You know, so I connected with like-minded people, ideas of how they work through it. You know, you can listen to so many different perspectives in the room, and that's gonna, you know, give you insights, you know, and make some really good friends too, you know. So all those insights are important. You know, what do you do if you fall? What do you do, you know, if you're in pain? You know, what do you do if you lost a loved one? So many groups out there that cater to all these needs, right? That's how I personally overcame adversity. You know, I started to love myself. I started to show up for myself. I went out and meet with like-minded people, and I turned my negative into a positive, and that was a game changer for me. But none of this wouldn't have been possible if I didn't, you know, start to listen to those motivational tapes and I started to believe what they were saying. And if they can do it, I can do it. And that really pushed me into action. Find people that you can listen to, that you can relate to, that can give you really good advice. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, you can keep up with me on Instagram at Royal Rainy Wins. We'll catch up in the next video. I love you guys. Bye.